Alexander the Great's life is one of history's most celebrated, yet also one of its most complex and enigmatic. The conventional story of Alexander is filled with tales of his military brilliance, strategic genius, and the vast empire he built. But there is much more beneath the surface, untold aspects that shed light on his character, motivations, and the forces that shaped his reign. For much of his life, Alexander's relationship with his father, King Philip II of Macedon, was anything but harmonious. Philip was a larger-than-life figure, responsible for unifying the fractious Greek states and transforming Macedon into a formidable power. But his success in doing so created a deep sense of competition in his son Alexander. Though Alexander was undoubtedly inspired by his father's military innovations, his relationship with Philip was strained. The root of this tension stemmed partly from Philip's many marriages and the political and personal complications they introduced. Alexander and his mother, Olympias, often found themselves at odds with Philip's new wives, especially as they feared the rise of Philip's other sons who might threaten Alexander's inheritance. At one point, Alexander and his mother were even forced to leave the Macedonian court due to a falling out with Philip, leading to an estrangement that would persist until Philip's assassination. Yet despite this friction, Alexander's respect for Philip's military prowess and vision for Macedon is undeniable. Philip's reforms laid the foundation for Alexander's subsequent conquests, and Alexander himself would come to adopt many of his father's tactics, even if he did not always follow his example in matters of family or diplomacy. Beyond the realm of family dynamics, Alexander's ambitions were evident in the way he approached the concept of empire. Unlike many conquerors before him, Alexander's vision was not solely one of territorial expansion. It was a vision of cultural unification and the blending of East and West. While the conquest of the Persian Empire is often painted as an act of sheer aggression, Alexander's attitude towards the lands he conquered was surprisingly progressive. He sought to incorporate elements of Persian culture and governance into his empire. Recognizing that a successful empire would require more than military dominance, it would require cooperation between the various peoples within it. His adoption of Persian dress, the encouragement of mixed marriages between Greeks and Persians, and his incorporation of Persian and other Eastern gods into his own worship were all part of this grand experiment. Alexander's decision to adopt many elements of Persian royal culture was seen as a symbol of his broader aim to create an empire where East and West could coexist and thrive. This blending of cultures is perhaps one of Alexander's most forward-thinking moves, though it was met with resistance from many of his Greek soldiers, who viewed such policies as a betrayal of their Greek heritage. Even so, Alexander pushed forward with these ideas, hoping that they would lay the groundwork for a lasting unity between the diverse peoples under his rule. Yet for all his forward-thinking ideas, Alexander was not immune to the pressures of constant warfare. His campaigns, which spanned over a decade, took a significant toll on his mental and physical health. Though often portrayed as an indomitable conqueror, Alexander's later years were marked by increasing signs of strain. His soldiers, exhausted by years of campaigning and far from home, began to show signs of weariness, and Alexander himself was not unaffected. The mutiny at the Indus River marked a pivotal moment in his reign. After years of relentless military success, Alexander's army finally rebelled, refusing to march any further into India. They had marched across vast and uncharted territories, enduring heat, famine, and constant battle, and were unwilling to push into even more dangerous, unknown lands. This moment of vulnerability, the first time Alexander faced open defiance from his troops, marked the limits of his conquest. It also revealed the psychological toll the wars had taken on Alexander. Despite his insistence on continuing his campaigns, it became clear that even the great conqueror had limitations. This moment of resistance from his army may have been one of the few instances in his life where he found himself powerless to force others to follow his will. While Alexander's military brilliance is widely celebrated, his approach to religion and the divine is often overlooked. His engagement with religion was, in many ways, strategic, but it was also deeply personal. As he marched through the ancient world, Alexander frequently sought validation from religious oracles and priests, trying to establish his divine connection. He famously consulted the oracle of Menran-Amenunan in Egypt, where the priest declared him to be the son of Zeus. This moment was pivotal in Alexa,